Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
He cremated my father and something was off with my dad's ashes.
You told Miss Phillips that you mixed the father's ashes with soil.
After she asked.
In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. Did you slap him?
I did slap him.
Stop. In that scenario, who should pay for it? Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. You don't provoke people when they're dealing with issues involving their mental health. Now, as a parent, that's the takeaway.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Lily Phillips claims she asked the funeral director to do something special with her father's urn and says he mixed her father's remains with soil instead. Ms. Phillips is suing Craig Lee in the amount of $3,515.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. Ms. Phillips, we had a situation involving a loved one whose ashes you had cremated. Now we have this issue of monies that you want to have paid back to you.
Yes.
Talk to me. Tell me your story.
I'm here today because Craig Lee, the funeral director of Sage Cremation, he cremated my father, and when I saw the contents of the urn, it was not just ashes, it was ashes and soil.
Right. And let's talk about you and your dad. I'm sorry to hear about your loss.
Thank you. I'm a horticulturist. I learned everything about plants and the environment from my dad.
And he was also one that really enjoyed getting his hands in soil and working with the elements and so forth, correct?
Yes, he worked with me and my brothers ever since we were kids. He taught us gardening and everything, and we even run a family business together.
And so it wasn't just a hobby for him, it was a passion of his.
Correct.
And
As testimony begins, Lily explains her background. She is a horticulturist who shared her passion for plants with her late father. Gardening was not just a hobby for him, but a lifelong passion and a family business. This context is crucial. Her father's identity was tied to the soil and the earth itself. Judge Ross highlights this to show how much meaning was behind Lily's request to honor her father. Do you think this strong connection to soil could have influenced how her instructions were interpreted?
Correct.
And when he passed away, did you convey that to Mr. Lee?
Yes,
Tell me exactly what that conversation looked like.
I spoke with him over the phone.
Yes, ma'am.
And he was very kind, seemed very knowledgeable about his business. And so I looked online as well, and he had 4- and 5-star reviews.
And you spoke to him directly?
I did.
And those reviews matched what you felt when you engaged him in conversation?
Yes, and then when I went to see him in person as well, he served me tea and he talked to me for about 30 minutes about my dad as well, and he reassured me.
So things started off well, Mr. Lee.
They did, Your Honor.
Talk to me. Give me some of your background.
Sure. So I'm the owner and funeral director of Sage Creation. I've been doing it for 30 years. I understand what families are going through. I myself just lost my mother about a year ago unexpectedly. So I can sympathize and empathize what Ms. Phillips and her family is going through. So I understand.
And you have to have that aspect of your personality,
of course,
to be in the type of work that you're in.
That's what we do. We make sure that families don't have to worry about certain services, especially the funeral service. It's very emotional during this time for them to go through this process.
Craig Lee, the funeral director, introduces himself with 30 years of experience. He emphasizes empathy, noting that he recently lost his own mother. He stresses that his role is to ensure families do not carry extra burdens during difficult times. His testimony portrays him as a compassionate professional who takes his duties seriously. Judge Ross underlines how unique requests often require interpretation. This is where the dispute takes shape. What exactly did Lily mean when she asked him to do something special? Should professionals take creative liberty with sensitive instructions, or must they seek explicit approval?
And what was it about Ms. Phillips in your conversation with her? Because I would imagine every client has a unique perspective on how they want to do things. What were you picking up in terms of how she wanted to handle her father's transition?
One of the things she said is they're horticulturists. It's a family business. She said one of the things is she wanted her father to be part of the earth.
So, Ms. Phillips, this urn that you have here in court, was this the urn that your father's remains were in?
No, this is the replacement that I had to get because the first one broke.
Something happened to the urn.
Yes, 9 days later, I was deep cleaning my house and I
Oh,
just,
it hadn't even been that much time then.
no, it hadn't. I decided to move it off the mantle onto the floor so I could clean, and I started getting emotional, so I left the room just to collect myself, and I heard a crash. I went in and I saw that my dog Lola had knocked it over, and so I was putting the broken pieces in the trash, and then I noticed that something was off with my dad's ashes. It actually looked like soil and it smelled like soil.
Because it was soil.
It was.
You told Miss Phillips that you mixed the father's ashes with soil.
After she asked, her instruction was do something special for my father. And again, going back to being a horticulturist, it was explained that he wanted to be part of the earth. That's where I put the soil along with the ashes and put them into the urn.
Did you tell Mr. Lee to do something special with your dad's ashes?
I did, and I gave him...
What did you mean when you said that?
I gave him a piece of my dad's jewelry. I thought he would just incorporate it with the urn. I specifically asked for him to do something special with the urn, not with my father's ashes. And I just gave him the necklace. I thought he would incorporate it with the urn somehow, and that...
And did he do that?
He did not. He gave me my father's necklace back.
Coming up on America's Court.
Mixed within this is also your father's ashes.
He irrevocably damaged my father's ashes. You can't separate the ash from the soil.
And later,
Do you have proof that the value of the pots and pans were $250?
The pot itself was worth, yes, $250.
Okay, then show me proof of that.
Receipts I don't have anymore, but
That's a problem.
this is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Lily Phillips, who is suing Craig Lee for $3,515.
You didn't do anything with the necklace?
I believe that her father would want her to have the necklace back. Now, she didn't give me any instructions to do anything with the necklace. We used the necklace to decorate the urn during the service, but it wasn't the intention, at least there was no specific instructions to do something with the necklace, i.e. put it into the urn.
He took the necklace as a part of the service and adorned the urn with the necklace. So you could visually see the necklace on the outside of the urn. Okay, that seems very tasteful to me.
She saw it at the service, and again, the necklace was around that hand-painted urn. And I have a picture of it as well.
I'd like to see that, please, yes. So in so many instances, Mr. Lee lived up to the hype.
Correct.
you
With
say?
the service, yes.
Oh, this is very pretty. Like the purples and the blues, and very nice, very nice. Very, very striking. And this was the urn that broke from your dog. And then when you took that urn home, he then gave you the necklace separately.
Correct.
Evidence begins to unfold with the urn presentation and photographs from the service. Judge Ross examines the decorated urn, noting how tastefully it was arranged with the father's necklace. Lily admits the service exceeded expectations, with even her mother praising Mr. Lee's work. Yet despite the successful ceremony, the irreversible mixing of ashes and soil remains the core grievance. This highlights the tension between excellent service delivery and a single misunderstood request. Should overall service quality outweigh one controversial decision, or does one mistake invalidate everything?
How many people were at the service?
24.
24 people. And were there any comments or thoughts people shared about how they felt the service went, how Mr. Lee performed, anything like that?
Everyone loved it, my mother especially. She said it was really well done, and Mr. Lee really did outdo himself. He helped with the flowers, so I had less to take care of.
Okay. What you had asked for had been satisfied in terms of your expectation.
Correct.
He exceeded your expectation.
Yes. I'm thrown because he irrevocably damaged my father's ashes. You can't separate the ash from the soil. We have to live with that now. I just wanted my father's ashes to be in an urn, and we can't change that now.
Was this the first time you did this, sir?
To put it with soil?
Yes.
I've never done that before, yes. I thought it was very special to me, and it was one of the most charming things I've ever done for anyone, at least in my opinion.
Okay, because you felt you were truly honoring the dad.
Correct.
and you felt insulted and offended by the mixture of the soil with the ashes.
Correct, and he didn't ask for my permission, and he never even told me that that's what he did. If my dog hadn't broken the urn, I would have never known.
And why did you bring the urn here today?
I wanted to show you, if I could present this to you. This is the urn that I bought to replace it. You can see what's inside.
Okay,
And-
I'll take a look. This is the first. I normally don't look at people's ashes, but you brought it for a reason, and we'll be respectful and deferential. All right. And so when you open the urn, I mean, it's soil,
Correct.
and you're saying mixed within this is also your father's ashes.
Correct.
Lee admits this was the first time he ever mixed ashes with soil, calling it one of the most charming acts he had done for a client. To him, it was a unique tribute. Lily, however, is devastated because the act permanently altered her father's remains without her consent. Judge Ross acknowledges that this case hinges on interpretation. What exactly did Lily mean by do something special? This is a powerful reminder of how miscommunication can escalate into a legal dispute. Do you believe intent should matter more than outcome in sensitive services like this?
Correct.
I mean, just looking at it, it just looks like a mixture of something. I mean, it doesn't have any sort of smell or
Correct.
anything about it that's unusual, or you just don't like the idea that it's mixed with soil.
I think it was very disrespectful and unethical the way he did that.
Now, when you talk about someone who's in this type of work doing something unethical to the ashes, and yet you tell them to do something special, I'm going to get that nice and gentle with that. I'm in a very challenging position because it's subject to interpretation.
I specifically told him the urn, though. I expected him to go above and beyond with the physical urn itself.
Now, here's what I find interesting, Ms. Phillips. You actually gave me this text exchange between you and Mr. Lee. Mm-hmm. It actually hurt you. Craig, what did you do with my father's ashes? My dog broke the urn and I saw soil. Hello, dear. You asked me to do something extra special for your father. You mentioned he wanted to be part of the earth. I combined his ashes with soil from my garden. How could you do this without my permission? It was a beautiful gesture. I'm sorry I upset you. Here's what's missing with this important exchange of text. I never said, do something special for my dad and having him be part of the earth. Why would you think that? You never said that. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel has to come down in favor of the defendant in this case. I know it may not have been what you wanted. I don't think he had any sort of malice. I don't think he wanted you to be upset, or he felt as though he was disrespecting you, your family, your father. He just doesn't strike me as that type of person. If anything, he strikes me as someone who is deserving of 4 to 5 stars and who goes the extra mile and gives you above and beyond. And so to have him go in the hole because of a misinterpretation of something that you conveyed to him, I think is unreasonable. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
The ruling comes swiftly. Judge Ross dismisses the case. Siding with the defendant, he states there was no malice, only a misinterpretation. He emphasizes Lee's strong reputation, his compassionate approach, and his history of going above and beyond for clients. Ross concludes it would be unfair to penalize him for what was essentially a misunderstanding. This legal outcome underscores how the burden of proof and clarity of instructions weigh heavily in court. Do you agree with the judge that this was simply a misinterpretation, or should accountability have been stricter?
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
You should have asked for permission first. It really hurt me and my family.
I'm sorry, I was thinking I was doing something very pure and something special for your dad.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
The boxes were marked DF for dining fragile.
Were you told DF meant dining fragile?
No, Your Honor, I was not.
She put the boxes on top of DF,
That's
which
when
means nothing to
It
her.
broke my valuables.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Jay Ford claims her mother's caregiver ignored her request not to touch specifically marked boxes and says fragile china was destroyed as a result. Ms. Ford is suing Ashley Daniels in the amount of $5,000. Ms. Daniels is countersuing for $250.
Ms. Ford, you're suing for $5,000 over some china that was destroyed.
Yes,
And Ms.
absolutely.
Daniels, you're actually countersuing because you're saying that Ms. Ford owes you some money that she didn't pay you.
Yes, that is
And
correct.
you want your money and you want it now.
Yes.
What was the agreement with Ms. Daniels?
Well, we agreed that she would come and care for my mom 5 days a week, 8 hours a day.
That's a lot of time.
I know, and take her to dialysis 3 times a week for
That's a
5
lot of
hours.
responsibility and obligations. Any preparation of meals involved?
Absolutely. She
So
was to
she's
prepare
cooking.
meals.
Any light cleaning? Any?
Light cleaning, cooking, and giving her.
You asking a lot of Ms. Daniels, and you said this is how much I'm going to charge you for this?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor. We had
And
a
I take it-
contract that we had worked out.
Miss Daniels actually was doing like way too much. For
It's your mom, and you wanted to do way too much.
no things that
Or you're saying way too much in a bad way.
Exactly, things that I didn't ask her to do.
Such
She
as?
was taking it upon herself to move things around. We had a delivery, for instance. The delivery came to deliver oxygen tank for my mom, and the boxes were marked DF for dining fragile.
Were there some boxes that had DF on them?
Yes. Yes, there were.
Were you
Jay
told?
Ford outlines the caregiving agreement. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, with responsibilities like meals, cleaning, and transportation. Daniels argues she went above and beyond. But Ford claims Daniels crossed boundaries, moving fragile boxes marked DF. Daniels testifies she was never told what DF meant and did not know they contained valuable china. This illustrates how unclear labeling and poor communication can lead to costly consequences. Do you think Jay should have clearly explained the labels, or was Daniels responsible for asking before moving
Yes,
them?
there were.
Were you told that DF meant dining
No.
fragile?
No, Your Honor, I was not.
Were you told not to move the boxes?
She did
Yes.
tell me not to move the boxes.
So that's a yes.
Coming up on America's Court.
Actually, I deducted $250 because there was another incident where she cooked and I asked her not to cook.
So there was $250 that she was entitled to.
Well, before
Let me
she
help you out. Yes.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Jay Ford, who is suing Ashley Daniels for property damage.
It would seem unreasonable that she would say, and you know what, I'm gonna work a little harder, and now I'm gonna start moving boxes all around the place.
Actually, what she did was she totally ignored the fact that it had DF. She could have called me and asked me.
DF only meant
dining
something
fragile,
to you.
Dining fragile. Okay.
Stop. It didn't say dining fragile. She put the boxes on top of DF,
That's
which
when it-
means nothing to her.
It broke my valuables.
And as a result, what was in the box that said DF was the china that ended up getting destroyed.
Correct.
All right. You are now suing her because you're saying you got jilted out of $250.
Correct, Your Honor.
Did you jilt her out of $250?
No, actually, I deducted $250 because there was another incident where she cooked and I asked her not to cook.
So there was $250 that she was entitled to.
Well,
Yes.
before
Let me
she-
help you out. Yes.
Yes. Prior.
And then you
prior-
made the decision,
when she
but what
burned-
I'm going to do is I'm going to deduct $250 because of something that you did that you weren't supposed to do.
I did, in fact, slightly stain some of her pots and pans while I was cooking.
You were cooking for the mother.
Yes.
And using the pots and pans, somehow it got stained. Do you have proof that the value of the pots and pans were $250?
Actually, individualized the pot itself was worth, yes, $250.
Okay, then show me proof of that.
Receipts I kind of don't have anymore, but
That's a problem. I just need to see proof of that because otherwise you can't just deduct monies.
The dispute narrows to 2 issues: $5,000 for destroyed china and $250 in disputed wages. Daniels admits to staining some pans while cooking, leading her to deduct $250 from her pay. However, she cannot provide receipts to prove the damage's value. Judge Ross stresses the importance of documentation. Without proof, deductions cannot hold. Similarly, Ford cannot prove China's $5,000 value without appraisals. This reinforces a key legal principle. The burden of proof lies with the claimant. If you were in Jay's position, How would you prove the true value of fragile family items?
Willy-nilly and think that that's okay.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
Her counterclaim that she's entitled to that money without proof, she's met her burden. So you will get that $250 back. Where does $5,000
That's
come
the
from?
value of the china.
Based on what?
It's appraised at about $5,000.
Where's the appraisal?
I don't have that right now, but we spoke about that, and she knows the value of the china because I talked to her, but she didn't like, I said she didn't know it was in those boxes in particular.
You're talking a lot, but you're not saying a thing.
But I hired her to be a help to my mom, not come in and destroy
And
my
I
belongings.
did that. I did help your mom.
And you did, but along the way you destroyed things. Those things were in our family for years.
Well, is it more important that I take care of your pops or your mom?
Absolutely, I agree, but I didn't ask for the extras, Ashley, and you know it.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, as I've already indicated regarding the counterclaim, she is entitled, Ms. Daniels, to the $250, and you will be paying her for that. The burden is on the person who files this lawsuit initially. And you have to meet a burden, and one of those burdens are establishing value, so then I could tell you, yes, I agree, and I don't have that. Your matter's dismissed. That is the order. Case closed.
Judge Ross rules in favor of the defendant again. Daniels is awarded her $250, while Ford's $5,000 claim is dismissed due to lack of evidence. The judge emphasizes that contracts and disputes must be backed by documentation, not assumptions. Distix Ross rules in favor of the defendant again. Daniels is awarded her $2,000 per tom. Both cases in today's episode reveal a central theme: miscommunication and lack of clarity. Whether verbal or written, can transform personal or professional conflicts into legal battles. Do you think both plaintiffs lost today because they relied too heavily on assumptions instead of evidence? Today's cases showcased how fragile trust and communication can be in both personal and contractual relationships. In the first case, Lily Phillips lost her lawsuit because her instructions to the funeral director were open to interpretation. In the second, Jay Ford's claim was dismissed for failing to prove damages. Judge Ross highlighted two vital lessons: intent versus interpretation and burden of proof in evidence. If you found these cases as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.